Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today is Sunday, so you know what that means. We're going around the net with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. And boy, have we had a week in the game to say the least. We will touch base with American Express making some changes to one of their coupons, harder to get face value, of course. Chase making it a little bit harder to redeem your cash back. And of course, the story of the week, which many of you were checking in on me to make sure I was okay and not going to do anything crazy, is Bank of America Preferred Rewards is no more. It's been replaced with Bank of America Rewards, which is somehow different and a little bit worse off than we were before. But of course, if that sounds interesting to you, go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. Now, we'll lead off with good old American Express and the Platinum Card, everyone's favorite metal coupon book. This time we're zooming in on the airline incidental credit. The one that you pick your airline and then you can use your card to offset incidental costs of up to $200 a year. Now, incidental costs are, in the airline's mind, they're talking about checked bags, internet, food on the plane, headphones, things of that nature, not tickets, not upgrades, all the stuff people would want. Well, United has, for the longest time, had I don't even know if it's a loophole, but a workaround, if you will. And that was just using United's travel bank to trigger the $200 credit. United's travel bank is exactly what it sounds like, a place where you just bank up money for travel. So you could just load in $200 and it would trigger the credit. Now, according to the Good Doctor and a lot of crowdsourced information, this is no longer the case. So it looks like where there were some folks that were talking to American Express and starting back on February 5th, that this no longer worked. This travel bank deal no longer worked. And then one person was even told Delta is next. Now, Delta's trick isn't travel bank, but they have, what do they call it? It's called like additional collection, I want to say, where you buy down your Delta ticket with like a gift card, and then the last remaining amount you can get to like under $200 or something like I forget the exact number, but it will also trigger the credit. So two long-standing workarounds that have allowed you to get face value, or count this as a face value credit. Those will be no more. Kind of sucks. I mean, again, it's already a pretty difficult card to use, in my opinion. I don't really know if I blame American Express for this one. I simply just think, their account executive probably sat down with United and they're like, hey, we got to look for ways to get people to use our marketing budget the way we want. That's what they came up with. So I guess it's just a sign of the times, as we're going to see in this next story as well, which we're moving right along to Chase. And there's no coupons here, but they are making it harder for you to redeem something that is cash back, something near and dear to my heart. So for the longest time, since I can remember, Chase would allow you to cash out your ultimate reward points for cash to any bank account you wanted to link to it. That is no longer the case, as Chase is sending out notice, which you now have on screen. It says, beginning March 27th of this year, you will no longer be able to redeem for a cash back deposit from your Chase Freedoms, Chase Sapphire, or Chase Inc. credit cards to an account held by a financial institution other than Chase. You can continue to redeem for cash back deposits to an eligible U.S. Chase account or redeem your rewards as an account statement credit. Now, I've seen a lot of folks say this, or not a lot, but I've seen some folks say this makes the game that much harder. I don't think it makes it harder, but man, does it make it more annoying, especially as someone with a bunch of different cards at a bunch of different places, many of which we churn these bank accounts, or candidly, these institutions haven't done enough to make their products compelling enough to keep. Like the Chase, I wouldn't recommend anyone open a Chase checking account. It's not a free product. You got to do $1,500 in deposits or something to get it free. Like, it's just not a good competitive product. So why would you want to hold the account? But for the longest time, I think Citi allows you to send money externally or rewards externally, which is nice. AAA card were actually recently added at the end of last year, which was nice. So this to me seems like more of Chase going through and doing what they've been doing, which is just tightening up the ship a little bit, whether it be the referrals, can't refer an existing Inc. customer, which again, all the stuff they're doing makes sense. It's just, it is annoying. This one seems to be the most tedious or annoying to me than anything else, Now, if you wanted to, you could still redeem for a statement credit to a card with a zero balance. And then you can either phone in or send secure message, be like, hey, I need a refund. And then they send you a link. Last time I tried this, which was quite some time ago, then you can redeem those. You can ask for a check, or it will allow you to put in a card or an account to send that refund to. I can't imagine they get rid of that. I suppose they could block redeeming for statement credits on cards that have zero balance or only lets you cover the minimum. That could probably do that. I don't know if that's really worth their time and effort. We'll have to see. But there you go. Not great. Now, another story that's not good or bad, it's just kind of like a why, is Wells Fargo. Now, everyone by now knows my love of the autographed Journey card. And for the longest time, we thought Wells Fargo was going to make another card above Journey, which makes sense because everyone has expensive cards. And then the rumor came out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago that they were going to make another version of the Journey just for their higher net worth customers. That one looks like it came true. Now, we don't have links for this, but the good doctor did post the information. So we actually have three total versions of the Journey. 2 are new and slightly different, but the same thing. So we take a look. No links for these, like I said, but you're looking at the Wells Fargo Premier Autograph Visa Infinite. That one we believe is for customers with assets of $250,000 or more. And then Private Bank by Invitation Visa Infinite, not sure on the asset requirement there. Again, they do the exact same thing earning wise. However, being Visa Infinites, they do have a few more party tricks. So you've got a $100K intro offer over the normal 60, which the base Journey has. The Premier is in a black and gold colorway, which sounds pretty cool. They're both metal cards. As we said, you're going to have all the Visa Infinite benefits. So you've got the $120 TSA pre or global entry, trip delay, extended warranty, purchase, security protection, all that good stuff. There you go. It's fine, right? It's fine. It reminds me of Chase and the Sapphire Reserve or the JP Morgan Reserve. Like the same thing. One shinier than the other. One, I think, gave you United Club access, but same thing. But I guess they're assuming people with that much money don't know, but I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really seem like, I feel like you could have done a lot more. I don't know why you wouldn't have won a card at a higher price point to sell them, but that's what you got. So I will still take whatever Journey card I can get, but it's going to be a while. Last story, near and dear to my heart, as many of you know. For the longest time now, we've been talking about Bank of America changing preferred rewards, and they have. Well, they told us they were going to, and now they're letting us know what they're going to change it into and how it's going to work before it goes live in May. So instead of preferred rewards, you now have Bank of America rewards because the marketing department is just top notch. But unfortunately, we do have some different tiers, which is going to hurt many of us, myself included. So we'll run through all of this and give some opinions. So as a refresher, the existing tiers, the outgoing tier, saw gold at $20,000 of money with Bank of America, which is a 25% boost. Platinum at $50,000, which is a 50% boost. Platinum Honors at $100K, which is where I'm at, 75% boost. And Diamond, which is $1 million and $75,000 again. New tiers. So Member is going to be at $0. So I guess it's now open to everybody at 10%. Preferred Plus at $30,000. We're a 25% tier. Preferred Honors, which is now where I'd be, $100K for 50%, and Premier at $1 million, which is still $75,000. Some important notes here. This is only for the personal side. The business side is different. I imagine they will sync them up at some point. It just makes sense to have them both match. And then existing customers are going to be eligible or grandfathered in for 6 months after go live, but there's still some room in that for credit cards because the next portion of this is a memo that was sent to bankers and says preferred rewards credit card members will keep their current rewards bonus on their existing card until their next program enrollment anniversary month starting November 1st of 2026. At that point, their bonus will be reevaluated based on new tiers. Starting May of 26, new credit cards will receive the bonus amount for the new Bank of America Rewards tier. So we do have some time, depending on your enrollment date, that you could be extended. So, I think this is just kind of like a weird change, really. I mean, so I didn't think they were first of all, I was wrong. I didn't think they were going to do any reduction. And the reason I didn't thing they were going to do in your reduction is, one, this thing's been around since 2014, so it's clearly sustainable. It's not like Smartly where like, oh my gosh, they're paying out so much money, that they couldn't even make it a year. We've had 12 years of this. The other reason I didn't think they were going to is because no one's ever said, hey, Bank of America cards are good, right? Like as many videos as I've made talking about preferred rewards and my love for it, the cards aren't good. What makes them become competitive is being at platinum honors, and it always worked because you have to put your money somewhere, so be it. You might as well get something for it, but they're not amazing. And so I thought it was a tough sell to take cards that are already base level uncompetitive and then make them harder to make them that much more competitive. But clearly I was wrong on that. The other thing I think we can tell is there's just too many people hanging around in that 100K tier for their liking. And I think we can tell the credit card program is one of the biggest drivers because the banker memo references the rewards program for credit cards. It doesn't really reference anything else. There's apparently not a lot of people worrying about getting that $600 closing statement for being platinum honors or whatever it is, right? So that's number one. The weird thing, why I think it's weird is because it hurts, don't get me wrong, like it stings and I'm not thrilled about it, but it's also not changed enough that you would leave. One of the big questions I got was like, what are you going to do? Like, I'm not going to do anything. Like, I'm annoyed for sure. I'm more annoyed about the customized cash cards going down from 5.25% to 4.5% than I am the unlimited cash being 2.25%, down from 2.6%. But there's really not any place else to go with the money, really, unless you just really suffering through Merrill's terrible user interface for this, and you're like, hey, enough's enough. There's really not anywhere else to go. So I assume it was just costing them too much money, for them not getting anything returned. Now, my other thought is that they changed the tiers, changed the name, but the guys at $1 million still don't get anything different, which I think is weird. And they're opening it up at the bottom to the member level, but that's not really anything to write home about at the member level. Because again, if we're just not talking about the credit cards, well, they're already super uncompetitive, and they're still uncompetitive at the member level. So, well, yes, I kind of going to applaud you for opening it up a little bit more. I don't know if you really did anything. I also think there's some onus on the bank to make their products competitive and make us want to use them, and then maybe you would generate more sales that way. Like, say what you want about US Bank, like at least when US Bank did theirs, they came out with a Smartly savings account, which was a high yield for a big bank product, right? Was it the highest? No, but none of their peers were doing it, and they did it. They had been, from what I could tell, improving their platform, which is nice, and I don't see Bank of America doing any of that. It's kind of funny, when you go through the Reddit threads, one of the prevailing comments I saw was, well, at least I don't have to use Merrill anymore. And Merrill is really bad. That much is true, right? On the app, I can't change the order of my accounts. If you want to pay a credit card when it's brand new, you have to remember to add it to your payers list or something. It's weird. They have that Erica assistant you can't turn off, which is amazing. You finally find the one girl I can't turn off. Like, I actually typed in turn off Erica, and it was like, you can't turn me off. Like, I don't want these stupid notifications. They don't do anything. And so that's what I guess their only problem was, they were just paying out too many rewards, because I don't see how this changes much of anything for them other than they don't have to pay out that much more rewards. They didn't do enough to severely upset people that they have to leave. I mean, again, it stings because there's no way to make it to $1 million in a reasonable amount of time. I'm at 260 some odd $1,000 over there. I think they could have played around with it a little bit more if they wanted to drive sales to other products. Maybe if you originate a home loan with them, then the value, the appraised value of that property counts towards your relationship status, maybe. Or roll out a high yield savings product and say, hey, we'll count up to this much of it. I think there was other ways to do this where they could have tried to sell other products without necessarily giving away too much and still make this feel accessible. Because, yeah, you can say $1 million and it's not necessarily all tied to retirement accounts, but that's generally the easiest way to do it, through brokerages and retirements. But again, you know, do I really want to pull from Schwab or Fidelity or whatever to deal with Merrill? It's awful. And I think there's just a lot of opportunity still left for them that doesn't involve giving away more money. Sure, it's going to cost them money to do these things, but make it so that I want to use these products. Make it so that I want all my stuff to be with Bank of America. Because again, no one really does. We just put up with it because of preferred rewards. And again, you did water it down, but there's also nowhere else to go. So I will be staying with them. I'm annoyed, but I'll be staying. I'd consider Robinhood, but again, my biggest expenses are taxes and insurance every single year. So you're looking at probably $30,000 in taxes and insurance a year. Now, yes, a lot of that is offset by rental income. It's not just all me just writing these checks, but for Robinhood Gold Card to charge an annual fee of $50 and not pay out any rewards on those, I don't know if it's gonna be worth it for me. So, I'm probably gonna stay put. My overall thought, I was definitely wrong. I think it sucks. I also think there's a lot more they could do, and I don't know if this solves their problem that Robinhood is going to, if they keep going, cut into their younger consumer base. At the top end, I was talking to this about a friend the other day. It's this is also probably partly U.S. Bank's fault, because if it had smartly succeeded, I don't know that they do this. But when smartly collapses in on itself and just implodes, it's where else are you going to go? I would love to see internally, if they cared enough to do a pivot table or something of smartly launches how much money left, and then smartly implodes how much money came back. I would assume that'd be pretty easy to figure out. I wonder if that played into their decision. I think it would have had to, because if it's 4% works over there, I can't just do this. That's not going to work. And then I think that's the last thing I'll say is, I think that's really just a problem for overall competitiveness, right? There's really not a reason for anyone else to go past this anymore. We'll see if Robinhood makes it. Right now, people are still having trouble getting approved for the card and getting in, so we'll see. But for right now, if I'm Bank of America, I'm I changed it. What are you going to do? And I think they win, because the answer is not a whole heck of a lot. So thank you all for checking in on me, of course, about the Bank of America deal. I'm sure we will talk about it much more in the future, especially as it gets closer to May. But let me know your thoughts about it down below, as well as all these other stories. And of course, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel. So we're posting content just like this every single week. And of course, right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use on the week that was in credit and finance. And of course, every single day over on profitablecontent.com, which is the channel's blog. Always linked down below for you, as well as on the channel homepage with the latest news stories just like this. Plenty of bank promotions if you still want to take Bank of America. I know we have a few offers and some credit card offers as well. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you very soon in the next one.